Hey, it's Martin from Metis Automation here to talk about non-conformances in manufacturing processes and the NCR, or the Non-Conformance Report. And the reason this occurs is when you're going through the manufacturing process, you do a kind of inspection or a check on what you're creating. And you may not be doing a specific test, or it can pass or fail a test, but you may find something about the product that that means it doesn't conform to the correct standards that it should be. So it may be things like a visual imperfection, like a scratch or rust or some other kind of thing that means it doesn't meet the specification, and it's something that can't be passed on to the customer. So what do you do in that situation? Usually you would record that as a non-conformance. Non-conformance processes and documentation have been around for a long time, either on a paper-based, database-based or Excel-based system. What I'm going to do today is show you what tools we've included into the Taskus manufacturing execution system to let you handle non-conformances within the process, and show you how to set that up and how you can do some reporting on that. So let's take a look at that now. I'm going to start off by running a production sequence. So I've got this one at a test process at the moment. So I'm going to carry on going through there and say I'm doing some stuff to this Amazon dot at the moment. It's passing the tests, but say in the process of doing that, I notice it's got some visual fault on it. Maybe a scratch, maybe the color's wrong. So what I'm going to do is hit pause up at the top, and I've created an NCR button here as a reason for pausing the test. If I do that, it will pop up a form, an NCR form. So within that, I can put my reference number, say that the NCR status is open at the moment. When that's open, it will be attached to the order that you're building, and say that there's an NCR that still needs to be resolved. Let's say it's a scratch on the lid, needs buffing out, for example. So if I do that, it's brought me back to the home page now. I've got an NCR recorded against that product, and we could go off and do some offline fixing of that. So to take a look at the reports, once I've recorded a non-conformance, if I go up to the reports menu over here and then down to non-conformance, that pops up this window. Now I might have a manufacturing order in the filter there. If so, just clear that. And it should bring up all the NCRs that you've added into the system. You can double click and you get to see the dialog window, where you can add any extra details to it. You can change the status of it to closed, and then just press OK to update the NCR there. So this is how you access the NCRs after you've recorded them. And then this is also how you link them to specific product serial numbers and manufacturing orders. And if you type in a manufacturing order number there, it should filter out and only show you the NCRs that are related to that order. So that's how we see the reports. Oh, sorry, one more thing. If we use this add button down here, you can also add a new NCR from this window here. So you don't just have to do it from running a production sequence. You can just add one from the reporting window itself. So that's how we handle the non-conformance reports. So just one final thing to say, in terms of setting this up, so you can launch that NCR form. What we just need to have enabled is within the downtime reason list down here, we need to have a pause reason called NCR. And that needs to be selected on one of the downtime buttons, or it can be on the drop down list. So as long as one of the reasons is NCR, what happens next is once that downtime is recorded, Taskus in the background checked, is it an NCR? If it is, it pops up a form. If it doesn't, it bypasses that NCR form. So that's all you need to do to configure it, to make sure you've got NCR loaded in your list of downtime reasons.